Hey everyone, today we're going to be performing a battery change on a Casio A158W. So let's get right into it. Getting started with what we're going to need, we're simply going to need a small Phillips head screwdriver, ideally metal tweezers, but if you don't have metal tweezers, you can just use a metal paper clip, our replacement battery, which is a CR2016, and optionally, if you have little finger cots or gloves, those would be nice because we are going to have to handle the module and we don't want to get any fingerprints or residue on it. Our first step in this battery change is going to be to flip our watch over, remove our 4 case back screws and set them aside for later. Next, we can go ahead and lift our case back right off, and sometimes the rubber gasket will come off attached to the case back. We'll go ahead and reinstall that when we're reassembling the watch. So now that we're inside the watch, our next step is going to be to lift our module all the way out. Casio did not really design this watch to be very user-friendly when changing batteries. So what I like to do is grab my tweezers or that paper clip, come right here, there's a little lip you can go under, and I'll pull up, and now we've got our module, and don't worry, there's no springs or anything that'll fall out, so we're good to take this out and we can work on it separately. So I'm going to go ahead and get our case out of the way for the time being. So to unlatch our battery here, we have 4 tabs on each corner. And this is where we're going to need to use our tweezers or that paper clip and unlatch all 4 sides. So we're simply going to go right under, pull up, and do that for each side. And this is why I suggest having gloves on, because it's inevitable we're going to touch the screen and we don't want to leave fingerprints or any residue on it. So all 4 sides are unlatched. Now I'm going to go ahead and set my module down again, and we can simply lift off this metal layer, and that's what was holding our battery in place. So now we have a bit of a balancing act here. We're simply going to grab our old battery, get it out of the way, and this black little tab here is sticky. Sometimes it'll come off attached to the battery, and what I would simply do is peel it off, put it back there. That's simply going to help us so that when we install the new battery, it'll stay in place while we put that metal cover back on. Now I'm going to come on in with our new battery. Again, this is a CR2016, and I'm simply going to place it right there on the metal tabs where the old battery was. And you can see that sticky little part doesn't even want to hold it down. So the easiest way to remember this, I'm going to go ahead and flip it. We have this little gold tab here sticking up, you'll see. And we just want to grab that metal shell that we took off, place it right back over, and make sure that all 4 of our tabs go back down. I apologize, this may be a little challenging to see, but I'm going to make sure all 4 corners snap back in place. And now our new battery is installed. So at this point, we can go ahead and grab our module and flip it over, and more than likely we're going to see that our screen is not displaying properly, and this is because we have to perform an AC reset. So on the front of our module, which is very strange for Casio, we can see this AC with an arrow pointing into this hole. There's a gold tab at the bottom of that hole, and this is where we need to use our metal tweezers or that paper clip. If we're using a paper clip, simply bend it into an arch. We just want to be able to make 2 points of contact. So we're going to place one end in that hole on that gold tab, and the other end we're going to touch the metal on our button plunger right here. And then as we can see, that just reset the module, so now it's going to work properly. A quick note too, that it's pretty much impossible to avoid getting little dust particles and stuff on this screen. So what I do is simply come in with a little microfiber cloth, or you can just wipe it off with a tissue or something. Just lightly brush it. We just want to make sure there's no particles left over when we put this back in the case. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my case back into the screen here. And now we can grab our module. And we simply want to remember that this side has 2 plungers for buttons. This side only has 1. So we just want to match the case. This side has 2 buttons. This side only has 1. We're simply going to drop it right in. And you'll probably notice it won't go down all the way. What we need to do is grab tweezers or paper clip again, pull these plungers out and lightly push down, and then it'll eventually fall right back into place. So now we're ready to reinstall our case back gasket, and this gasket too is pretty unique. If we flip it over, we'll see that one side kind of has little grooves in there. This is the side that we want to go down. So we're simply going to match the shape, drop it right in place there. And again, we want to make sure that the side that's facing us is the smooth side. And those grooves that go down, they kind of just grab the lip on this case here, and they keep that gasket right in place. So now we can go ahead and put our case back on. Now for reinstalling our case back, the thing that we want to remember is that gold tab that's sticking up that we mentioned earlier indicates the lower portion of our watch. So we simply want to make sure that our Casio logo is properly oriented. Now this watch doesn't really have a groove that the case back sits in, so you kind of just have to drop it on, make sure the holes where the screws are going to go line up, and then go ahead and drop your case back screws in and tighten them up. So what I typically would do is just hold my thumb on the case back, make sure everything stays aligned, drop my screws in, just get them started, and now we just need to snug them up. And remember, these don't need to be super tight, just snug. So at this point, if we flip our watch over, we should see that everything is working. As we can see, all of our modes cycle, our beep is nice and audible. Probably can't see it, but our backlight is working. So our watch is completely ready to wear again. Thank you guys so much for joining me in this funky battery change tutorial. I really hope that it was clear and helpful. If you have any questions for me, please be sure to leave them down in the comments. And if you're interested in more tutorials and watch-related content, please do consider subscribing. I cover a wide range of Casio, G-Shock, and Baby G products, so stay tuned for more. Thanks, everyone.